Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Mary from Decatur Public Library, and I am so glad to have a story time with you today. We're going to read a book that's set in a big city. We're going to sing songs about a city, and we're going to talk about a craft that you can do. I want you to grab a paper napkin or one of your mom's scarves for today, and you also need to grab a couple of pencils or maybe sticks out of your yard if you don't have rhythm sticks at home. Maybe before so much longer, we'll be back in the story hour room and you can use our rhythm sticks like we used to do. I hope that happens soon, don't you? Guys, we're going to start off with a song about being in the city. It's called A City is Great and a City is Grand, and it's from jbrary.com. I know parents are familiar with them because we use songs from them so often in the story hour room, don't we? Okay, are you ready? You're going to need your hands for this. Oh, a city is great and a city is grand. There are lots of tall buildings on a little piece of land, and we live up high on the 57th floor. And this is what we do when we go out the door. Take the elevator up, take the elevator down, take the elevator up, take the elevator down, take the elevator up, take the elevator down, and you turn around. Now, if you're a really big kid where you can stand up and do things on your own, you don't have to have a scarf for that one. You can stand up and squat down. Stand up and squat down when you're going up and down on the elevator. Okay, guys, let's talk about the craft that we're going to have here at Decatur Public Library for you to pick up until we run out of copies of it. We have in every one a piece of blue paper like the sky, and a bunch of squares and triangles cut out in different colors. And you're going to make a city scene just like this. You'll glue your paper triangles and squares together and make really tall skyscraper buildings for your city. I'd love to see some of them when you're done if you want to bring them by and show them to us. Boys and girls, let me tell you really quickly about a few books we've got about cities before we read our book. Here's one, Adele and Simon by Barbara Mcclintock, and it is set in the city of Paris. That's way across the ocean. We've got Curious George in the Big City by H.A. Ray, and we have Nellie Takes New York by Allison Pataki. We have other books too. If you want to come get Miss Anna or me to help you find one, we'd be happy to do that. Right now, though, we're going to read a book I really love by Dan Santat. It's called After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. Now, I usually think Humpty Dumpty lived near a palace, maybe, where the king's men try to help him when he falls off the wall. But in this book, we're going to see in the pictures, he lives in a really big city. Look at the big buildings. Wow, he's up on a really tall wall. He had to climb the ladder to even get to the top, didn't he? My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, way up high on the wall. I know, it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together again. See, he's at the Kings County Hospital. Well, most of me. There are some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. Poor Humpty. After that day, I became afraid of heights. It's really hard when you're afraid of high places, isn't it? Because you don't want to climb up to reach books you can't reach or boxes at the grocery store that you can't reach. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. Now, I can imagine that because he can't reach some of these really good-looking cereals on the top shelf. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really miss the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. That's just not the same, is it? It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. He saw a paper airplane go by, didn't he? Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. I do hate to get a paper cut. But day after day, I kept trying and trying until I got it just right. He actually made a really pretty paper airplane. Mine don't look nearly that nice. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. It actually looks almost like a real bird, doesn't it? I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. Let's see what happened this time. Humpty can't fall again because he's on the ground. They always do. Uh-oh. His bird is flying to the top of the wall. And it's not a real bird, so it can't fly back down on its own, can it? I almost walked away again. But then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time, until I was no longer afraid. He got all the way to the top and he felt good. Maybe you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully, you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. What just happened? It looks like pieces of an eggshell and feathers and wings are in the picture now. And learned how to fly. Humpty Dumpty was an egg after all, wasn't he? He turned into a bird. He hatched. Now he's not afraid of high places at all, is he? That's a happy ending for Humpty Dumpty. And he didn't need his clothes anymore. Look at his pants there. So now he's not afraid of high places. He can fly as much as he wants to. He can land on that wall without even climbing. I like happy endings. Let's sing another song about riding on an elevator. It is also from Jay Brary. It is called Let's Go Riding on an Elevator, and you need your scarf for all of this one. Are you ready? Let's go riding on an elevator, elevator, elevator. Let's go riding on an elevator. Come along with me. First floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor, and down, 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 down. Now, we can even ride the elevator here at the library. We're not in a big city, are we? Ours doesn't have many floors to go up on, but it's still kind of fun. If you lived in a big city, you might have to ride an elevator to get to your house. And sometimes in the big city, you also have to ride a bus because there's not really a good place to park a car in a big city so many times. People don't even own cars so many times. We're going to use a rhythm stick for a song called A Hippopotamus Got on a City Bus. And we have sung this song before. It is also from jbrary.com. You see if you can keep up with me. We're going to get a hippopotamus on the bus. Maybe he came from the city zoo, do you think? Then we're going to get a cow on the bus and a sheep on the bus. Are you ready? Here we go. Get your sticks ready. A hippopotamus got on a city bus. And all the people said, "You're squishing me." I think I wouldn't want that hippopotamus to sit by me. How about you? It'd be so big, you would get squished. All right, now let's see what the cow does to the people. A cow got on the bus, and all the people said, "Move over." Now our sheep. A sheep got on the bus, and all the people said, "Back up." I like the way we got to use our cow and our sheep sounds on the bus. And you know, I was just reading recently about a zoo in a big city, and they turned it into a farm. So if you lived in a big city where they had farm animals in the zoo, you might actually see a cow and a sheep in the city once in a while. Normally, they're on a farm, right? I am so glad that I got to have story time with you today, and I hope to see you again next week. But before that, I hope to see you in the library to pick up your city craft. Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye.